Hi, my friends. It's Mr. Producer. Brian and his special guest will be joining us in just a bit. However, time is running out over at LaunchpreneurAcademy.com, where Brian's got a sweet gift for you right through the 25th. It's a cool $400 off of his famous whole ball of wax. Head to the store link there at the top of the LaunchpreneurAcademy.com website. Look under our best bundles and deals, and you'll find all the details on the whole ball of wax. When you're ready to check out, it's simple. Just punch in the code SAVE400, no space there, and you are in for a treat. Access to pretty much everything in the Academy, including all future updates and training programs. But here's the deal. This Christmas special ends on the 25th. It's okay to hit pause. Check out the link there in the show notes. See if the whole ball of wax is what you need to set yourself up for success in the year ahead. But make sure and come back to the podcast. By the way, no show on Christmas, and we'll be back on Wednesday with a brand new episode.
You're now listening to the Fullerton Unfiltered podcast. Straightforward, no nonsense business advice. Completely unfiltered. Grow your business. Grow your life. Now, here's your host, Brian Fullerton.
Hey, what's going on, guys? Welcome to another episode of the Fullerton Unfiltered podcast. It is your host, Brian Fullerton here, hanging with you guys, and good morning. Today, we got a guest interview for you guys. We've been lining up quite a few of these recently. Folks seem to be having a little bit more time available, a little bit more time on their hands. Thank God, because the season has finally winded down, tapered a little bit. Some of you guys are still out there doing cleanups or maybe bi-weekly cuts, especially if you guys are down south. But that being said, for anybody that's in the Midwest or Northeast, things have drastically slowed down, or at least that's what I would imagine. So today's podcast guest, we got my friend Lucas Wilson joining us all the way from Canada, which I'm really excited about, hearing a little bit more about that. So Lucas, welcome to the show this morning. How you doing, brother?
Good. Thanks for having me, Brian.
Absolutely, man. Are you guys staying busy, or are you guys in that same boat where you have kind of wrapped up for the season and things have slowed down dramatically? Where are you guys at?
We've wrapped up the season ourselves. We're just waiting on snow. It's been out twice this year so far, but I can't really complain because I'm a student, so studying exams for the next couple of weeks. If the snow wants to hold off till after that, I'd be happy, but we'll see what happens.
Yeah. What do you guys do? Like your spring exams, and then you get like mid-season break or winter break or something like that, and then regroup after the new year? Or how does that work for you guys?
So our terms are 10 to 12 weeks, I believe. We get a week off somewhere in there. But yeah, we do exams in December, and then we do exams next term in the end of April.
That's awesome. Well, I mean, like I said, if it's not going to be snowing, then at least you can be learning and studying and get ready for your exams and not be so distracted or weighed down with all that. It's hard to do both.
Yeah. I ignore my courses way too much, kind of when work's still going on. So now is my catch-up time to make sure I've got everything figured out for the exam.
There you go. Well, let's zoom out just a little bit, man. You're 22 years old. Like you said, New Brunswick, East Coast area for any of you guys. We're talking like north of Maine and New Hampshire, that whole area, best I understand. And then your company is Wilson Yard Care. We actually did a podcast, not a podcast, I'm sorry, a coaching call a couple weeks back, just working through some things. And you got a lot of great stuff going on. You've got some kind of like important decisions to make about your career, your future, your education. I'm pretty sure, at least I remember, you're pretty all in on the lawn landscape company, but you got a college degree that you're working on, finishing up here in the not so distant future. So do you want to talk about both of those for just a quick minute and maybe give these guys the last 3 or 4 year highlight about where you're at and how you got to where you're at so far? Because it's a little bit of a unique proposition with where you go next.
Yeah, for sure. I've been doing this for, it's been probably 7 years, but a little more serious probably the past 3 or 4 years. I started, I'm in my fourth year currently of, my fifth year of electrical engineering degree. So I've been running this lawn business kind of on the side. The only job I've ever had. I have never worked for anyone else. I've always worked for myself. I've been running this alongside school for past few years, and when COVID hit, I kind of had my first, oh, wow, I can actually make a living potentially out of this. And, next year is going to be my last year of school now. And I'm trying to decide, where I'm going to go from here, try and see if I can hire some maybe full-time help that's available all year, because I've been stuck with a lot of, student help. Only have them from April to September, and then I'm kind of stuck on my own after that. So that's one of my biggest decisions that I need to figure out, next year, if not the year after.
Yeah. Are you now at the same point? You have the two oars in the water: your schooling and then also the business. But the business is growing really, really well. A little bit larger than most people would probably imagine for a college kid. So, it's actually really impressive. So, I'm like, you're doing both at the same time. I'm like, and not pulling your hair out. Like, are you getting enough sleep? To tell everybody a little bit more about your company. What's the actual landscape company look like, and what's that? But I think you said 5 years. What does that all look like for you?
Yeah. So, my program's actually a 4-year degree. So now I'm in my 5th year and have a year left. So you're probably wondering how that happened. So, I have been taking the full course load alongside work, but the problem is you get that overlap in April, May, season starts up then. I go back to school in September, and, we work till December most of the time. So, it was becoming a really big struggle trying to do a full course load and work at the same time. So I actually ended up failing a course. And then my dad actually teaches there. So he's like, okay, let's take a step back, maybe lighten your course load in the fall when you're the busiest, and just take extra time, because again, There's no rush. And I realized that, I'm probably not going to use my engineering degree anyway. It's just going to be something to fall back on. So, I'll back up a little bit into kind of how I started. So one of my neighbors actually owned his own lawn care company as well, which is funny, but I just remember as a kid seeing him going around, and he had like 12 lawns, I think, at his peak. So, just a little summer gig. Yeah. And I'd see him going, and I was like, oh my God, like he has 12 lawns. That's crazy. So my dad was like, well, maybe you should try that for the summer, like kind of when I was looking at getting my first job. So I put some signs out, and my first year I had a whole one lawn.
That's it? The only one lawn that's called?
I only had one lawn. I advertised awesome. Really late. It was kind of a last minute decision. So yeah, I had one lawn my first year. But I went from there. I mowed that one lawn, and the next year I think I got myself up to 7 or 8. The next year I had a dozen, and after that, I started finding myself doubling every year. I ended up with 25, 50, 100. I think currently we're sitting at somewhere around 110 lawns that we're mowing weekly, with a crew running 5 days a week and another one mowing 2 days a week.
Wow. That's awesome. Well, I was going to say your first year when you were getting your lawns figured out and just getting that one, and the other guy only had 12. But your first year, you only got one. You're like, maybe that 12 is actually a little bit more impressive than I thought.
Well, exactly. And I mean, actually a couple of years down the line, I ended up taking over his 12 lawns because he got out of the business. So.
Wow, that's awesome, man. Who would have thought? Did you end up purchasing them, or did he end up just giving them to you, or how did that work?
He ended up just giving them to me. I had he'd go on vacation from time to time, and I'd mow them while I was away. So we just, I guess, when he was deciding he was going to get out of it, he just passed my name to them, and if they wanted to sign with us, then they could. Yeah,
that's awesome. Now, did you expect the company? It's not like it's doing $2 or $5 million here, but at the same point, it's a good side hustle / full-time operation. Did you expect it to grow this large, this quick? Like, were you just looking to make, like you said, $500 for, beer money to, hang out in college and then go to spring break? Like, where were you at on this whole trajectory? Because you got a great outfit, and I think you said 4 or 5 full-time people working with you at its peak in the summer. So it's a serious outfit.
Well, yeah, I mean, it was meant to just be, a summer gig, some money coming in over the summer just to, kind of pay for, travel expenses to school and that kind of stuff, help pay for school. But when COVID hit, everyone was suddenly home, right? And oh, I need to do this to my yard. I need to do that to my yard. Oh, I'll get someone to mow my lawn for me. And we had kind of a big explosion. And that was the first year that I was pushing actually six figures. And I was like, oh my God, like I can actually do something with this. That was kind of the eye-opening moment.
That's awesome. That's awesome. And then the phone just continued to ring and you just started building crews?
Yeah, well, so it was, I started this kind of just myself for the first few years. And my sister actually had been kind of begging me. She's like, let me come work for you. And, I kind of wanted all the money to myself. So I was like, oh, I don't really want to. And anyway, I then realized, well, I can put her on the push mower and I can just ride around on the mower all day. So I finally took her on, and she worked for me up until, it was just me and her up until last year. And then last year I decided that it was time to expand to a second crew. I wanted to try and take a step back and do more of the maintenance style work, like mulch and that kind of stuff. Mm-hmm. So I ended up hiring another younger guy that was a student, and I actually brought my mother on with me.
Oh, wow. Okay. So that's a whole family affair now, bro.
Yeah. It's been primarily family. And this year we hired another young guy in university to help out. So
that's awesome.
Yeah, it's been kind of a family thing for the longest time.
Now, where are you guys really finding a lot of the work? Are you guys doing more residential work, more commercial work? And then how have you guys continued to get so much I would imagine residential work up front, but how are you guys getting all your customers? That's the number one question that we always get asked from a lot of folks that are, their first or second year in business that want to get to 10, 20, 40 accounts, 100 accounts. What do you guys have found work for you this last 5 years? Honestly, the biggest thing I found that's worked for advertising has been Facebook for me. Like I run paid Facebook ads on there all the time. I live kind of on the outskirts of my city. In a smaller town, subdivisions, all subdivisions. So there's a lot of houses around, community Facebook pages. I post on there all the time. So like my first work was all in my subdivision because I started when I couldn't drive. So everything had to be close. And still I have probably half my lawns are in this one subdivision. Wow. There you go.
Yeah, but
that's awesome.
It's funny because I've tried both Facebook and Google Ads, and Google Ads do almost nothing for me, but Facebook ads are phenomenal.
Now, are those all paid, or are those like organic boosted, or tell me a little bit more?
I get more out of paid on Facebook. I mean, I post just on my page. I don't get as much reach out of that, but the paid ads are phenomenal for me. They do wonders.
Yeah, that's awesome. And it's crazy. And I've heard many people talk about this in another podcast, especially, for a couple bucks a month, $10, $20, $100 a month, you'd be surprised the reach you can get just keeping your company top of mind, on Facebook or social media, running ads for your company. I think Brittany, Caleb and Brittany Allman run like a $1 a month ad just to show it to a couple hundred people a month, it's like a forever ad that they always just have kind of circulating and retargeting people. It doesn't have to be a lot. You can pay 10 cents a click or less, depending on how you set all those values. I didn't know.
Well, and I mean, the way you have to look at it too, right, is that, if I get one lawn, signed up at $55 a mow for, we average 20 mows in a season, that probably just paid for my whole ad campaign anyway.
Right. So
it's like there's no reason not to be advertising.
Yeah, absolutely. And I agree, especially if you're, same thing, just putting out yard signs around town. I know it's late June, July, but you'd be surprised how many people fall out or don't keep up with the lawn or their schedule, their work, all these other companies out there, or the kids start getting lazy around summertime when they want to go to the lake instead of mowing grass as a 15-year-old teenager. Not everybody starts is going to be the next, pick your guy. It's not everybody makes it, newsflash.
For sure.
So it's a great time to pass out those yard signs and postcards even mid-season to pick up some of those stragglers or those vacation homes or vacation cuts or something like that,
Yeah, exactly. Well, and I guess another thing I've done too before is looked up what houses in the area have recently sold. because over COVID, we had a lot of people come from Ontario way out here.
Okay.
Typically, they had quite a bit of money. So I was targeting all the houses that had recently sold, and I'd go drop a door hanger off there and try and talk to them, see if I could sell them on some mowing or other services.
Oh, really? Okay. So what was the influx of new customers out that way? Was it just getting out of the city or more rural, or what was the story there?
Well, I think like we didn't get hit super hard here when COVID was going. So a lot of people, I think, saw an appeal and, there's less people around. You don't have to interact as much with people. It's not as crowded. Yeah, more rural. I think that was just the appeal.
Okay. Heck yeah, man. It's same thing here. Everybody moved more west, more out of the cities and even the burbs to more rural farm life.
Yeah.
But everybody was spending money no matter what type of property you had, So,
right.
Well, let me ask you this: is just in the natural evolution here, I just love going through you guys' stories as you guys are guests on the show and sharing the feedback and what you guys are doing out there and what's working. Just the natural progression. Where do you go from here? Because you have about a year and a quarter, it sounds like, left of college and university. So is this company your ticket? Are you doing a co-op for an electrical engineering position? Where do you see yourself taking the company now?
This is it. The mowing's what I want to do. I've struggled with this a lot because I've been very close several times to just dropping the university altogether. I get convinced not to every single time. But yeah, I decided not to do a co-op work term for university because I don't fully intend on using that. It's, I got so far into it before I realized that the mowing was something that I could stick with, and there was just no reason not to continue doing the schooling. So that's how I got to where I am now. But I definitely plan on sticking with this after I'm done school. Yeah.
I mean, you got a great foundation laid for business and financial future, man. So that's really exciting. What does the family think about? You said mom's working in the company. I think you said your sister, right, is working in the company. I think she's on the way out. I think she got a different career or job or some regard. I remember from our coaching call. But how's the family affair? Is your dad, like, hey man, we could really make something out of this, and who would have thought? Or where are you guys at on all that?
At Launchpreneur Academy, we believe in a community where success is amplified, not diminished, by helping others. Introducing the Launchpreneur Academy Link membership, your ticket to a thriving lawn care business. Join our exclusive Launchpreneur Academy Link Facebook group where like-minded entrepreneurs share insights, advice, and encouragement. It's not just a group, it's a family dedicated to your success. As a Link member, you'll enjoy monthly hangouts to connect with fellow lawn care professionals, bidding hour calls to sharpen your business acumen, and enlightening lessons from industry experts in our monthly guest expert series. And here's the icing on the cake, our monthly group coaching calls where your specific challenges are addressed and you receive personalized guidance to excel in your business. Yeah, there's more. Gain exclusive access to the lessons from Brian, the mastermind behind Launchpreneur Academy. With call records, PDF recaps, and more, you'll have a treasure trove of resources at your fingertips. And as a special bonus, when you sign up now, you'll receive 3 training programs worth $200 absolutely free. Boost your productivity with our Productivity and Profitability Hacks training program. Learn the art of selling with our How to Sell More Customers and Close More Jobs training program. And discover the secrets of building a winning team with our How to Build Your Team and Legitimize Your Business training program. Don't miss out on this incredible opportunity to revolutionize your lawn care business. Join Launchpreneur Academy Link membership today, and let's grow together. Visit launchpreneuracademy.com and sign up now, or use the link in the podcast description. Launchpreneur Academy Link, your link to success.
Yeah, no, they're very supportive. I mean, they were always the kind that were big on going to school, but I think I've kind of, opened their eyes. There's other options. And
sure.
My sister's on her way out. She's going to become a firefighter. So
that's right.
I lose her next year, which is a little unfortunate, but it'll be hard to find a replacement for her. She was a phenomenal worker. I'll probably never find someone that, was as committed as she was, but I've always had a lot of support. My dad's actually worked for free many times for me. So it's been a blessing.
That's awesome. Well, I mean, if she wants to come back too, she can help put out all the fires at your company. It's a bad joke, but that's awesome. So, hey, I mean, I'll tell you what, you can't thank family enough sometimes. Older brothers, younger brothers, older sister, younger sister, whatever, mom, dad. I was talking to somebody just the other day, and they were like 45 years old, and mom bailed them out of something, whatever it was, and she's like 65, and it wasn't even a monetary thing. I think like it was just like a helping hand kind of a thing. And I was like, dude, you always got to be grateful and thankful for mom. Mom's always got your back, and always hopefully is always got your back and is always in your corner. Or dad, pick your person. It is really cool to see the growth of what you guys are putting together, man. I'm really, really excited for it. I think you got a lot of great stuff going on.
Yeah, thank you. I've been very fortunate too, because, they're being so young, and you run into the issue of trying to finance equipment and that kind of stuff. And it's very frustrating at times, but luckily my parents are kind enough to, pull out loans and that kind of stuff off their personal lines of credit and let me access that and just pay them back over time. So
man, that's
I've been very fortunate to have that opportunity.
Absolutely, dude. That's awesome. Well, I guess the only thing left is where are you going from here, man? If you get out of college in a year or so, you got some great momentum with the company. Usually, I see people usually get to about the $250,000 mark, and then they have themselves, maybe one or two people. You can make 50, 80, 100 grand on that business, no doubt. But after that, you have to really decide: do I want to start getting crews? Do I want to start getting some heavy equipment? Do we want to, start growing and expanding the company from here? And that looks way different for everybody at every level. Most $250,000 businesses or less, I believe, start looking pretty similar. I'm sure actually a $10 million company ends up looking pretty similar as another $10 million company. That's a whole other story for a whole other time. But where do you guys intend to go from here? Are you taking it to the moon? Are you guys happy with where you're at? Is there other venues or avenues you'd like to get more involved with, landscaping, hardscaping, et cetera? Or are you guys pretty content with where you at?
Yeah, I mean, I personally would like to grow it as big as I can. That's just something like I really enjoy what I do. And I think this next year, the goal is going to be somewhere between 200 and 250. But once I'm out of school, I want to take the time to, learn some of the hardscape stuff, get into some more of that heavy equipment. And, I'd like to hire some crews to focus on the mowing, because the mowing's nice, recurring revenue. And that helps fund some of the bigger stuff. And, I'm working my way towards that. I went from 2 crews running 4 days a week to 1 crew running 5 days a week, and then my crew mowing 2 days a week, and then doing, extra ticket work the other 3 days of the week. Or, if we get a rain day, we pick up a day of mowing. But I fully intend on trying to get to some more of that hardscape type stuff. But we'll just have to see where it goes from here.
That's awesome, dude. That's awesome. I'm rooting for you the whole time, man. You got another little over a year, like you said, left, and it's hard to chase 2 rabbits because you usually end up with none, is the old saying. But at the same point, as soon as you can go all in and focus on the company, once your schooling is done, I think you have 40 hours of mental energy, or at least 20 hours, I would say, mentally, that you can recommit to the company and really start staying laser focused on where you want to go from here.
Yeah, I really hope so. I mean, I'd like to use my winters to, educate myself on some of the other stuff I like to do in my business, but it's so hard trying to do school and that stuff at the same time. So I've just kind of been trying to stick with what I know for now, and then hope to learn some of that stuff in the future.
Yeah, love it, man. Love it. Let me ask you this. What's something that you didn't expect as you continue to grow your company to this size, the problems that you have today that you didn't have, back when you were a little bit smaller, or maybe your first, second, third year? Any of those guys out there that are looking to go to 250, and they're maybe even whether they're in high school or college or not, business is business. But what's some things that you've really maybe struggled more on that you never thought, or maybe had to spend more time or money or resources on to fix or to get better at than you would have thought initially if you were maybe to start this business a couple years ago and just remind your future or younger self, I should say, hey, you know, keep an eye out for this, or hey, don't forget about that. Any good lessons along the way that you've had to overcome?
Yeah, I mean, one of my biggest things that I've run into is having a backup piece of equipment, truck, trailer, whatever it might be. It will save you so many times. We've had trailers run into insurance inform us they're getting written off and then picked up the next day, and not have a backup trailer to run out. We've had trucks that have to go into the shop. Luckily we've had a third truck for the past couple of years that we could throw the trailer on and continue going with that. But you find yourself in a pinch, and it's very hard to get out of it when you don't have something to replace that equipment that's in the shop or where it's at. And the other thing I'll say too is communication with clients. I've learned over the years is you have to inform them of everything. We had a year this year where we got rained out a whole week, and you'd think that the client realized that, it rained all week, your lawn's not getting mowed,
right.
But that there's still people that ask, and you have to let them know everything.
Yep. I heard B&B Lawn Care, Blake Albertson, buddy of mine, say the same thing, and you would think, hey, we got rain for 4.5 days, Monday through Thursday, and they're a Tuesday cut, and they're like, hey, it's Friday, where are you guys at? And it's been sunny, are you guys coming out? And it's like, dude, it rained for 4 days. Like, even if I wanted to, your lawn's saturated. And those are just tough.
I had a client say, well, all my neighbors' lawns got mowed. Well, your neighbors did it on their own time on the, rare occasion it wasn't raining. I have 100 people I got to try and fit through in this week, so it's not the same thing. No,
and they don't understand. They just don't. And by the way, folks, they won't ever get it. They're not you guys. They're not us. They don't relate the same. And there's nothing you're going to be able to do other than try to communicate more on the front end, like you said. That's ever going to get them to understand. We had the exact same thing happen. By the way, personal story. We were doing a fall cleanup. My guy showed up. Guy waved us off the property very rudely, which was a little uncharacter for this guy. And I called him up. I'm like, hey, what the heck is going on? And his wife that Monday, this was like on Wednesday, had said, hey, where are we at for the cleanup? And I said, we'll be there this week. And so that message never got communicated to him from his wife. And I normally correspond with her. So anyway, my guys get there. They're 20 minutes in, and this guy waves us off, and I call him. I'm like, hey, what's going on? And he just unloads on me. You guys never communicate. You guys never this. You never that. You guys haven't been here for 6 weeks. It's first week of December, and I'm like, hey, we've had 6 working days in the last 5 weeks. It's been probably the most challenging fall we've had in a long while. And he goes, well, I had my neighbors do their leaves, and I ended up doing the leaves, and you guys had 6 days or 6 weeks to figure this all out. And I go, I said, are you trying to tell me how to run my company? Or I'm just confused. I'm like, we're doing the best we can over here. And he's like, well, he goes, maybe you guys need more equipment or more people or whatever, but this is no way to run a business. And I said, and I wasn't trying to be smart because, it just never works when you start going to guns. But I was like, hey, hey, Mike, how many lawns did you say that you managed and that you did a leaf cleanup on? He goes, well, mine. I go, right. I've got 100 people that are calling me. I said, it said, thanks, but no thanks. I don't need your advice or wisdom on how to run my company. I said, you're one lawn and you did yours on the weekend, and it's like, dude, and I told my guys, and I've told you guys this, listening in, go where you're celebrated, not where you're tolerated. And we literally the next day ended up doing 3 or 4 other leaf cleanups. One lady texted us like a freaking 2-paragraph thing about how thankful she was, how great the guys did work, all this stuff. And I screenshotted it, sent it to the group chat with the guys. And this lady was understanding. She was understanding and thankful and appreciative versus the other guys like, where the hell have you been? And I'm like, dude, do you not live in the same climate I do? It's been wind and rain for a month. I'm like, what do you want us to do? So he's getting dropped next spring.
And
anyway, long story short.
Like on that, on that topic of people not understanding rain and trying to get stuff done, I ended up sending an email after people were questioning where I was, and just saying I didn't think I had to send an email like this, but I guess I do, and just explain what was going on. And then you get this flood of people that are so appreciative, and they understand, but you can't expect everyone understands the problem. And,
right.
Another point that we struggle with in the fall is we have clients that we often get snow before all the leaves come down, and it happens every year.
Right.
And with having so much rain this year, it was a very slow fall. They fell very late, and you have to explain to people, like, it's either we clean up what's down, or you're going to have to wait until the spring. And if you wait till the spring, I'm going to have to charge you more because everything's going to be wet. It's going to take so much more time.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I couldn't agree more.
They don't understand.
Nope. And you do your best to shake hands and kiss babies and try to give them options. Hey, do you want this or do you want that? So, great job there. But at the end of the day, they won't get it. And by the way, happens in every industry, happens everywhere, every time. If you're in the pressure washing business, I'm sure, and you're cleaning windows or something like that, I'm sure somebody says the exact same thing. Where the hell you guys been? It's been sunny for all day. And it's like, yeah, but it rained for 4 days. Like, the house has to, I don't know, dry off or whatever. It's just like, bro,
right.
Like, you're not first. And I'm thinking to myself, like, this is a very low revenue producing customer of ours. It's not even like he's a mow only. And I'm like, dude, no offense, but we make like $900, maybe $1,000 gross on your property a year. It's a smaller lot. I'm like, this is like not even worth the headache. I make, even if I cleaned up a third on this lawn, like true net profit, it's like, dude, you're not worth a $300 headache. It's like, go away.
Yeah, exactly.
And he's one of my old grandfathered in lawns. His lawn price weekly needs to be up $7 more per cut. And here I'm like being nice. And this is the kind of guy that is just too comfortable.
Yeah, I've got a few of those.
Yeah, I'm done with the too comfortable people, because the next person, man, you're the only person that called me back. And you're like, hey, $50 a week for like a $40 cut. And they're like, sure, we'll pay anything. And you're like, wait, what? And some of these OG customers, they just get too comfortable. I'm sure, I don't know, maybe I'm just talking out loud, therapy session with you. But I don't know if you guys are out there and you can relate, give me 2 honks in the horn, beep, beep.
Yeah.
So
you'll always realize that the new customers putting the price up to whatever your minimum now is so much easier than trying to raise those low lawns up to what they should be charged.
I couldn't agree more.
Every time, and you realize, oh my God, it's so much easier when they don't know what you undercharge someone else.
Yeah, I couldn't agree more. Again, it's just some of these people that have been with you for 15, 20 years, of course you're grateful and thankful, but it's got to be mutual. And some people just, they think that they've been with you for a little while, that they deserve like special treatment sometimes. And you're like, no, bro, like, you're just in line like everybody else. We're doing our best. So yeah, it is what it is. Not to beat a dead horse. So,
exactly. That's how it goes.
Yeah, I'm excited for you, man. You got a great thing going on. I know you got a great business mindset. You got a lot of good things going on with school and work and the company, and I'm just excited to hopefully keep tabs on you and with you, and hear the growth over the next couple of years, and we'll check in from time to time and see how things are moving and grooving. But that's pretty much what I got for the podcast today, man. But any final thoughts? I always love giving you guys the last thought or the last word. Anything you want to share with these guys? But if not, I always say, where can people find you?
Yeah, I mean, it can be done. You have to start somewhere. I started with my parents' ride-on mower that was sitting around for our own lawn, and I've grown it to where it is today. So you just have to start. That's all there is to say. But yeah, you can find me on Facebook, Wilson's Yard Care on Facebook and Instagram. I'm not super active on Instagram, which I need to get back onto, but my Facebook historically is kind of more, I post work that we do kind of directed at my clients, but anyone's welcome to send messages on there, or just have a look at kind of the work we've done in the past.
Oh yeah, man. Is Instagram at Wilson's Yard Care?
I believe so. Yeah.
Okay, just double check.
And I think I'm actually on YouTube as well. I've got a few leaf cleanup videos and
sweet
Billy Goat freeloader videos, that kind of stuff on there. I think should also be under Wilson's Yard Care, but
cool.
I haven't posted on there in about a year. But
no, that's awesome. That's awesome, man. We'll go look it out. We'll try to leave a plug in the description or tag you on IG, and that way people can give you a follow and keep up with you, man. But no,
for sure. And reach out if anyone has questions. I'm happy to help.
Yeah, no, I appreciate it, man. Thanks for taking time out of your day. I know we've been able to get a little bit more guest interviews in on the queue here lately, just because everybody's thankfully got a little bit more time available to us, and season's kind of slowing down. We just finished up last week on Tuesday ourselves, so it feels good to kind of be done, catch our breath. I just regrouped with the guys this morning and kind of gave some marching orders for January, February, March. Things are looking good. We're all happy, healthy. Money's coming in. Things are good, but it's a good time to recoup and regroup a little bit and really start planning that vision for 2024. Amen. So, yeah, that's all I got, brother. Thanks so much for taking time to be on the show today, man, and wish you guys a happy holiday and Merry Christmas and all that fun stuff, brother.
Yeah, thanks for having me, and happy holidays to you and your family, and Merry Christmas.
You bet. All right, guys. Well, that's what we got for you on today's podcast episode here. Joining us with Lucas here. Really fun conversation. And for any of you young guys that are out there growing and burning the candle at both ends, as some of the old folks would say, that's okay. Because eventually you get to blow the candle out that you don't like the most. And if you want to go all in with your company or your career, hey, whatever. We encourage you to do whatever's going to make you happy and whatever's going to make the biggest impact for you and the people around you in your life, man. So we're rooting for you either which way, whatever you guys decide to do. But it was cool hearing how Lucas is putting his company together. If you guys have a great story to tell, feel free to reach out on email. We'll do a little back and forth and see if it makes sense to get you on the show. We're not an exclusive podcast or anything like that. It doesn't cost anything. We just, want to make sure that you got a great story to tell and, what makes you unique, and what makes your story a little bit different. And after doing a coaching call with Lucas a couple weeks ago, I said, hey, man, I got a lot of kids that are balancing both work and school, doing both at the same time. So it was cool to just have him give some encouragement to you guys today that if he can do it, you guys can do it too. So, all right. Well, that's what I got for you guys in today's podcast. Thanks for listening, guys. We look forward to catching up with all of you here on the next one.
Before you turn off the podcast, there are two things that we believe you will be highly interested in. First, if you're looking to stay up to date with the latest trends and insights in the world of lawn care, then you'll want to subscribe to our free email newsletter. It shows up in your inbox 3 times a week and includes a Monday motivational to kick off your week, a Wednesday what's new to keep you informed, and a Friday weekly recap of all the content we put out. The second thing is we have just launched Lawntrepreneur Academy Link. Now you can be a part of an exclusive community that links you to those who can help you grow in your lawn care business. Joining Lawntrepreneur Link will give you the tools that you need to stay accountable, get real-time expert advice, and find belonging in a community of folks who are passionate about the lawn care industry just like you. Visit LawnTrepreneurAcademy.com to learn how Link membership gives you unique access to monthly hangouts, bidding hour calls, coaching calls, expert lessons, and more. Stay ahead of the curve and level up your business with a membership to the Lawntrepreneur Academy Link. Find an easy-to-use link in the podcast description.
Thanks for taking the time to listen to the Fullerton Unfiltered podcast with Brian Fullerton. We hope you enjoyed this production. If so, please consider leaving us a 5-star review for the show. While the techniques and ideas presented here are designed to help you grow a more successful and profitable business, no one can guarantee these results for you. We want to emphasize that entrepreneurship is not easy, and the ideas presented here are just the opinions of Brian Fullerton and his respective guests. No one can guarantee success for you. That being said, we hope the ideas presented here help you and motivate you to go on out there and crush it with your own business.
Fullerton Unfiltered Podcast.
Thanks for listening, and we hope to see you on the next episode.
This has been a Brian Fullerton and Mr. Producer production.